Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an awesome life. Why is it always breaking through fears? Because there's only one thing that stops you from living a life that you love. There's a fear somewhere. You can say, no, I'm not afraid of anything. What are you talking about? I just don't have opportunities. Then if you're not changing things, you might be afraid. There might be some fear of change, fear of disapproval, fear of stepping outside the box, fear of what would happen if you step outside the box. Everything's fear-based. Shame, guilt, all these other things that we experience are based somewhere on a fear that things are not okay, that they're not going to be okay. And then we live these unhappy lives and we're like, why? Because there's some belief systems and thoughts around that create the feelings that dominate. And we just go with that and we don't really control it. And we just accept that it's part of our lives, and it doesn't have to be. Let me grab my coffee. Oh, it's a beautiful morning. I'm having to sit back further because the sun is blasting here in Atlanta, Georgia, as it usually does. That's why I moved down here from Michigan. I don't know if you guys know that. I'm from Michigan. I grew up in the Great White North, Midwestern girl with a wonderful family. And I have a niece and nephew up there that purchased my childhood home and renovated it. I won't even go into that. I just wrote a book about that crazy experience when my mom, my dad, my brother, my cousin, and my dog all died within a short period of time. It was a very challenging period in my life that opened up doors. And I want you to remember that all that happens in your life is a door opener. I mean, have you ever experienced something like when somebody dies and it's like there's a shift that happens, there's that whole sadness and that whole thing going on, and then another part of you is like awakened, and it's almost a good feeling. It's like, oh, the world just changed and I have a chance, and you see things different and you're alive, and I know you guys experience, people don't talk about that, the good part of going through a trauma like something like that. There is a good part. It's like a release, especially if you know what happens to us and we're energy. I mean, I never worried about, my parents or whatever happened. They're actually with me. They visit me quite frequently. My dad does all the time, and that's in my book. All right, so we're not going into metaphysical stuff in this video. We're actually going to go into You Are Limitless. And I want to talk about all this, the fear, the loss, the death, all these things. When I say you are limitless, that is a fact. Now, if it's not a fact in your reality, that's cool. I'm not here, as I shared with other people that like to debate. They want to get into some kind of debate with me. I'm like, if you believe what you believe, I respect that. That's your reality, which makes it real for you, right? Gonna have a sip of coffee. Hold on. It's half calf. I did a video a couple days ago with Starbucks, full-blown caffeine, and woohoo! Man, I was having a good time. All right, so let's talk about this. I focus on the fear because it's at the root of everything. It's never going to go away. But it also limits our thinking. Like, I can't believe she said we're limitless. I can't put my hand through a wall or jump off a building and fly. Well, let me explain this. When I say you're limitless, you are limitless. Absolutely, beyond the shadow of a doubt. How do I know? Because we are all one energy. We are a fragment. Fragment's not even a positive word, but we're an extension of the one energy. We are the one experiencing every possible scenario, and you're one of those. All right, we appear to be individual because if we weren't, we wouldn't get to experience the individual, journey, right? So right now you're experiencing this, and why do we not know this? Well, some of us do. Some of us do have memories of things, and that because the veil's coming down, we're starting to go, wait a minute, I have memories or dreams that aren't even on this planet or whatever. Those are real. Don't discount this stuff. Why do we discount everything? Discount nothing. Everything is your powers, your insights, your messages, all of it. Yet oh, that's a dream. Yeah. So what? You think that you just go to sleep, everything shuts down, because we think the body shuts down, so that thing that's going on out there isn't us. That's you. That's you functioning, exploring, going through things, the feelings, all this stuff. That's you. People visiting you. Memories of things you've experienced before. It's all real. You're limitless. You've been 101 things before. If you don't want to believe that, that's okay. That's, again, what we've been told as human beings. Oh, that's crazy talk. Cray cray. Shut the video off. Landria's lost it. No, I don't believe in any limits. I know this is true. I have insights into things that a lot of you have. I've shared stuff, and you guys have responded it with some stuff that just has blown my mind. I'm going, yeah, I can go with that, right? Because if I believe we're limitless, I have to be open to everything. And what is that? You're creating your own reality. So if you're limitless and you believe that this is a rotten, crappy world and people are bad, you get to do that. You are limitless, and what happens is the limitless energy that has no restrictions whatsoever has decided, you, as an individual expression of part of the one, which is all, you don't just go off on your own here. Everything's included in that decision. Decided to come down and play this role on this planet that is dense. That's perceived limitations that we all agreed to in order to function as human beings in a planet that became very dense and had the restrictions. At one point, I'm sure we didn't have the restrictions that, even close to the restrictions that we do now. We were probably able to move things and communicate without speech and all, Atlantis, all this stuff. That's all real stuff. And they blew it, man. They really blew it because they didn't use their powers wisely. And herein lies the density of the human being. This is why you and I are here. We've made a lot of mistakes along the way, and maybe you weren't one of those people. Probably have been. Most people have been here before, many, many times. There are beings here who have decided to come down and help elevate the frequency of the planet that have never functioned as human beings before, which makes it very difficult for them. But we all have a mission because we've blown it in the past. We've misused those powers, and now we've gone back into limitations because other human beings have told us we're limited, and we've been programmed. So we carry that energy, that thought, those thoughts, those fears, those beliefs all come with us, and we go, of course I'm limited. No, you're just playing by the earth rules. You, the true essence of you, the power of you, has no limits. Can think of something. We don't even really have thoughts on the other side. We just are. And stuff appears. But there's no fun in that after a while. There's no contrast. So we come down here to play the role, but it got out of control. The contrast that was created here went a little bit to the dark side. That's okay. Just another experience. So we're ready to let go of that. Enough. Enough of the struggle. Enough of the pain. Enough of the torturing each other. I see people making fun of other people, and I just want to pull them aside and say, come on, go for it. You want to make fun? Let's videotape you and have you, put yourself in front of millions of people, and let's see what everybody else has to say about you. But they don't. They hide behind their social networks, and they're afraid to put themselves out there. It's so great to put a nasty comment. And especially, I notice the people that make any kind of negative comments don't have their pictures on there. So, and I finally got professional pictures done. I don't know if you've noticed. I finally updated. I got a new logo and pictures, and I put it out there. I'm like, this is me, and I'm a positive force in this world. If you don't like what I say, that's cool. I'm here to just express myself. It's all positive. It's all good. My intentions are good. And so we all are allowed to express ourselves individually. You don't have to have somebody else believe what you do. And if you're doing that, that's the ego that has to be right and what I believe. And then you look at where you got that from. Somebody told you something that's a load of crap. Right? And you go, wait a minute, why am I believing that? Because my parents told me and their parents told them. They were doing their best. My parents, everything they did was coming from what they thought was good for us. Like in my book, it's called The Bag Collector. It's about my dad, and it turns out to be more about just my family, including my brother who recently died. And I look at what they did and the reaction of my brother versus me to certain things that I thought were very positive and he took very negatively. You know, like when your parents push you to do things and they're tough on you because they think it's good for you. And one kid may respond badly to that, negatively, and another kid may go, yeah, I'm going for it. And they, it builds their character. They're only coming from what they know. Right? We are all told certain things. We have self-programmed, or we have programmed limitations, and then we have self-limitations that we put into place that we believe. And then when you look at those and you say, wait a minute, what's stopping me from doing anything? Nothing. You say, this person, nope, it's you. You have the power to change anything. So within the rules of the planet, Earth, within the rules of the role you decided to play, within the rules of the crazy challenges, some of you took on some crazy stuff, you purposely did that so that you could be the person who broke through all of it, had the challenges, had to say, I forgive you, had to say, that does not rule me. I am that higher limitless being. I'm going to pull out of that density of being a human and a victim and all this other, blame and all the other crap that I hear all the time. And then saying, I'm taking responsibility. I took on those challenges. See, that limitless you decided to take on all those challenges. Decided to go through what you're going through now. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, but you can change it at any moment. Free will says you don't have to stay there. You're limitless. You absolutely are. When you go to sleep, the stuff that you do in the place, your soul doesn't sleep. Your energy doesn't sleep. The body has to sleep because it's a dense shell that we use here in this play. A lot of people don't like me saying play because they think I'm not taking it seriously. Well, that's your limitation then, right? I think it's a play. Play is a nice word. Play is fun. And so you can't in the middle of Shakespeare, decide you're going to play the role of Superman and fly around the stage. If you're Shakespeare, you have to deal with the Shakespearean play. So you're dealing with whatever role you played. So now, yes, you do get to fly and you get to do all these things, and most of you do it. Some of you do it with out-of-body experiences. Some of you have had near-death experiences, so you've done it even while you were, somewhat conscious. Others do it. Everybody does it in their sleep. So yes, you actually do go through walls and fly and do all that stuff when you detach from the dense body. This isn't you. The you is the energy contained within, not even really contained, possessing this, using this body, because your energy goes out to everywhere. And then you sort of take a break while it's sleeping. It's not like bored, It goes off into whatever. It gets messages, explores things, I had some really bizarre dreams last night. What was that? I'm always in like these huge stadiums, like just masses and masses of people. I'm sure that is in alignment with what I'm doing here on this planet. Okay, coffee break, hold on. So back to you. What are you doing right now that you're unhappy with? What's happening that you're unhappy with? And who are you looking at when you're thinking you're unhappy? Are you looking at a boss or parents or a spouse or anything else? You have chosen all of it. All of it. You don't have any limits. So as an unlimited being in a human body that has rules on this planet, the perceived limitations are only agreement from the unlimited you that says, okay, we're going to have a material world. We're going to enjoy this. If everything, we could pass through everything, which, people do that, by the way. So if we did, then we wouldn't get to feel this ceramic surface and the warm, cup and that coffee that goes down your throat and warms you up, and then that little buzz you might get from your coffee if you're caffeinated, and just seeing the sun coming. You wouldn't get to experience the way a human does if we didn't have some agreed upon limitations on the planet. And the density, of course, has kept us in this. So the more we raise the frequency of the planet, the more you're going to see miracles happening, instant manifestations, instant healings. All that's going to start happening more because we're now getting past the density. And then at some point, we're just going to be light beings on this planet. I know this because I know the frequency is raising. It may not be on your earth, but it's on mine. And I'm seeing it, I'm experiencing it. I'm seeing that things are getting better. There's massive change. There are beautiful experiences along that journey. Do I have black under my eyes? You know, you guys, like, I'm always sitting here with black under my eyes. And, you know, do you ever have the friend that lets you sit there with, you know, mascara here, doesn't say anything? So I know you would tell me if I had black under here. So, you are limitless. You're just playing a role here on a planet that has rules that you agreed to abide by, but you are limitless. So people think that then, oh, well, I can come here and do anything. Then that would break all the fun rules that we all agreed to play out these roles. So when I say you're limitless, I'm telling you that there's nothing you can't change within this role. You know, if your goal is to fly, you know, you can do it, but you're going to have to do it, but, you know, without the confines of the body. You're going to have to do it in your sleep or work at out-of-body experiences. People do that. There's actually, the Monroe Institute actually teaches people how to do that. I have no desire to do that. I'm like, I've done it, like, you know, constantly through eternity, because, you know, our time here in dense planets is limited. I don't need to spend it trying to get out of my body. I need to spend it using the body to do some fabulous things for this planet, raise the frequency. Are you doing that? Or are you just so engrossed in your problems and limitations? You aren't limited. No. So I have a meditation. I apologize for the commercial that comes in front. I have no commercials on my meditations, but the copyright royalty-free music that I used, apparently there's a little catch to that. That means that if you're doing well, they take over, put an ad on there, and they get the revenues from it. But one is called, one's pushing your energy out, total manifestation. And what I have you do after you watch that commercial, you'll go into this, it's almost like a 30-minute meditation with some beautiful music. By the way, the music is beautiful. Kevin MacLeod is one of the artists. And I have you really push that energy out to make you very aware that you are not just this body, this limited body. You are all that you do not see. All that is everything. You are everything. You are just expressing yourself as body. And when you remember that you're everything, which means you can change the particles, molecular structure of anything to bring it into your reality, you become much more powerful, and you recognize that you claim that power, because you are powerful, unlimited. You claim it and you recognize it within this role of a human. So then you as the human goes, oh my God, wow, I just sort of forgot that I was all that, and I can use that in this role as a human. I can be the shining story of somebody who, I have a friend who's getting out of an abusive situation, and she is doing everything in her power to turn everything around. She's dealing with some struggles, but she's focused, laser focused on what do I need to get out of this. I'm going to be the shining example to everybody else who says that they can't get out of these situations, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to get out, I'm going to financially take care of myself, and then I'm going to be the spokesperson for everybody else who questions whether or not they can get out of those situations. So she's using this experience for something really great. So that journey that she's going on right now is going to challenge her. And that's where you raise your frequency as a human, to raise the frequency of the planet. That's what we came down here to do, right? To experience all of this, to break through our own personal challenges, take it on, to raise the frequency of the planet. Because when you do that personally, it raises the energy for all of us. So you are unlimited. Just get that out of your head, like why you can't, fly, and just say, okay, I agreed to this role, so what am I going to do with it? I'm tired of working at a job I hate. You guys see my internet marketing thing come out here all the time. I got out of a career that no longer resonated with me. Wonderful career. I mean, I had a lot of fun, but it was, financial industry. It's was on a different frequency and I was moving on. And if you're staying in a lower frequency and you're raising, there's going to be a disconnect. It's going to feel very bad. So you've got to go to the frequency of which you match, which means you have to do things for a living that are better for you and the planet, which will ultimately be better for you financially and for your family, because things will start to open up. The universe is going to send abundance because you're on a higher frequency and you're making those difficult choices. And so if you're going to be, a scaredy cat and stay, in where you are because you're familiar with that. People, they like things that they feel is safe. There's no safety in that. And you get a pink slip and you go, oops, I should have gotten some training or learned something new or made that switch way before they got rid of me. And now you're out in the street with everybody else trying to find a job. You are in charge and you can change anything you want. And those opportunities, when you make that decision and you're very clear about it, the universe will start to send the opportunities. But you have to take the action. So many people think that law of attraction and manifesting has nothing to do with action. It's like the power of the mind. No, in human bodies, there is a role you have to play, and that's taking the action, being the human, going after the job, going through the, struggles, being triumphant, physically doing certain things, overcoming some illness or whatever. There's a lot of physical experiences that you agreed to come into, and some of you really wanted that, and others are like, okay, I'll come down there and help the planet, but I'm not really excited about it. So it doesn't matter. You're here. What are you going to do with it? You're unlimited. What are you going to do with your life? You can change it right now. Why? It just takes a decision. It just takes an opening to say, oh my God, I am limitless. All right, so I am in this role as a human. What am I going to do with this experience? It's going to be very cool because I can help everybody by helping myself. I can be happier, but I have to go after the things that resonate with you on the higher frequency. The job, the relationship. You know what? Who made the rule that you can't change partners? If you're not resonating with somebody, you've really tried and it's just not going to work, bless them and go. Say, you're going to be happier with somebody else. I need to go off and do this. For me, it's been one of the best things that ever happened to me. I would have stayed in a certain role if I'd have stayed married to a certain person because, they were in that role and it was about the material world and all this stuff. God bless them. But I am now going into something completely different. That is what I was meant to be. And that role that I played there was a wonderful, positive one for me. But it doesn't mean you have to stay there. Once you get married, you're supposed to stay there for the rest of your life. You get a job. Job hopper. So maybe it takes somebody, 20 times to figure out where they need to be. We make all these rules of what you can and can't do, the limitations. Break through. Put the blinders on. Yeah, right. Talk to the hand. I know what I want. I know what I need to do. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay because I'm still expanding and progressing by trying those things. And then I'm going to go, okay, that didn't work, but now I know. Every inventor has, thousands of failures that eliminates the thing that doesn't work so that they can get to the thing that does work. But we call them failures, so people are afraid to go into that. There's no such thing. Entrepreneurs, inventors, the most successful people fail more than anybody else. You've probably seen all these motivational videos that confirm that. I know, I'm one of them. If I have more and more, bloody knees and stuff with some of the races and things I did that I probably shouldn't have been doing. I wasn't really qualified. I did the Muddy Buddy. Have you ever done that? It's an obstacle course with a, running, biking, obstacle course. And then, with a partner, you keep switching off. It's just crazy. And then you get to the end and you have to crawl under this, this line into a mud pit. Well, it hadn't rained for months here in Georgia, and then it rains the night before, so this cracked, dried bed of rocks is at the bottom of this mud pit, and I'm crawling on it, getting all cut up, and when I get out, all you can see is a picture of me from head to toe, mud, and red streaks of blood going down my legs because I got all cut up. I don't regret doing that. I asked my friend who I talked him into doing. He goes, "Oh, I'm going to kill you." I said, "Are you glad you did it?" He goes, "Yeah." We'll never do it again. But so there's no failure. Did we win? No, I'm usually up there, with the top percentile with races and stuff, and we didn't rank real high. So it was fun. It's an experience. There's no failures. It's expansion. It's going and doing, and I still push myself to do that. And every day it's something new. I have three more books coming out. One's a free ebook I'll give you guys. My .com site is under construction right now because I'm adding all of the books, the store, the courses, the events on there. So at some point when you watch this, maybe it'll be fully functional, and you can sign up for lists off of there, and I'll be sending you free ebooks and discounts to events and some free events and all kinds of stuff, because I don't have any limits. I don't have any limits, and I really don't care what somebody thinks, because if I know I'm doing the right thing for me, and that my intentions are positive, and I'm always working on myself, I'm a human being with a personality, with the energy and the stuff that I've been told. It's a constant journey, and that's okay. Enlightenment doesn't mean perfection on this planet the way it does on the other side. Christ used to get angry, and the Dalai Lama gets angry. He just doesn't do anything with it. He goes, I get angry, especially about his country and what's being done. He says, I just let it pass by like a cloud. Experience being human. It's okay. I know this is a long video, but I want you to understand what limitless means. I want you to absolutely tell yourself you are limitless, and tap into that power and that energy, because it can be used here. You can manifest anything. Anything within the rules of being human. And what is that? Well, there are people doing miracles and levitating and flying and doing all kinds of stuff and going through walls. So, what? If you want to do that, you can do it. You just have to work at it, because we do, like I said, have density here that makes it somewhat of a challenge. But it's not impossible. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Pick it, choose it, state it, get it in your head, envision it, and you go after it. And you make it happen, because you are not going to be here very long. It's a flash in the pan. If you live to be 100 years old, do you know how quick that's going to go? Time's speeding up, that's a fact. You're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Go get busy and create that beautiful, unlimited life that you were meant to live and enjoy. Namaste.